Welcome to the Mojo Market Report. Here's your hosts, Dave Sturcio and Chris Gueci.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Mojo Market Report right here on a Wednesday. Yeah, I'm losing track of days. It is Dave Sturcio and Chris Gueci here at Chop Studios. Nobody behind the glass, grassroots in this zone B today. So we got a lot going on today. Obviously, we've been talking about some of the primo matchups in the Super Bowl. It's the big week. Super Bowl 57 is Sunday. We're another day closer to that, so we're excited about that. There's a lot to get into as far as position battles, but of course, we couldn't go a day without any kind of news surfacing about some of the players that you might want to focus in on before we get to the football. A congratulations to the king. LeBron James passes the all-time scoring record last night. I couldn't stay up for it because, again, I can't stay up that late anymore. The West Coast games kill me. Even when the Yankees are on and they're in, like, Oakland, I'm just like, forget it. I'll see the first inning. I'm like, cool, we'll see what happens.
Yeah, he needed 37 or something like that. So he needed.
He had himself night.
It was going to go into the fourth quarter if he was going to do it.
Well, no, he did it in the third.
Well, that's my expectation. Was like, I'm probably going to see this one. I ended up seeing it though.
So LeBron James passes Kareem Abdul-Jabbar for the highest scorer in NBA history. Now, I ask you, now I know you're a Jordan guy as far as the sneakers, the swag, the guy himself, the legacy that he's left behind. I don't think this does anything to the GOAT debate because he passed Jordan a long time ago as far as points, right? I mean, this was like a couple years now that he passed him already in that regard.
You have to start. For some people, it depends on your criteria because this right here, there's no like in a vacuum, he's the GOAT or he's not the GOAT. This is all opinion, right? So if you didn't have LeBron passing Jordan a week ago, today he didn't pass him because he just scored 30 more points last night. But if you could make the conversation that Jordan or LeBron is the GOAT, I think you could make the case for either player. I'm here to tell everybody that it is very, very possible to like both guys and to just say, I think Jordan is the best of his era. LeBron's the best of his. Both guys are the GOATs because, I mean, that's how we're.
I think that's the easiest way to do it. We can't compare Jordan eras. Was the greatest of the 80s and the 90s. In come LeBron. LeBron takes the league by storm. He is the next guy to do what Jordan just did, if not score more, whatever. But accolades, championships, a lot of people can say, well, LeBron lost some titles.
I think timing had a lot to do with Jordan, too. The way things like the era that we were in at that time where the media kind of was taking things by storm. It was a lot of the marketing. Things were changing, the commercials, the
Nikes, the Air Jordans, yeah.
Jordan was a lot to do with the way things are for the players now. When we're talking about on the court, I mean, it's tough to argue anything against LeBron. Jordan took time off in the middle of his career. We're not going to get into a Michael Jordan, LeBron James GOAT debate here on the Mojo Market, but it's hard to compare eras. We'll just leave it at that.
I'm curious, and we'll know this. We'll know the answer next week of who the highest Mojo value would have ever been ever. And because of the championships won by Jordan, and none of them lost. I mean, that doesn't really count towards the market anyway. But is it going to be Jordan or is it going to be LeBron? It's either going to be one of the two, right? You would assume.
Well, I don't know because I don't know that they're going to be able to go back in time as far as Michael Jordan 1986.
I mean, they went back as far as for Emmett for the running back situation. He's the all-time leading rusher.
They did.
In the
beginning, it was just like
Tom Brady was the guy.
2001 was the first spreadsheet that we got where it was the beginning of Tomlinson and Brady's career.
Right, and then they went back.
I mean, yeah, it's going to be hard.
Extra math.
It's going to be hard to say anybody would be higher than LeBron. 20 years deep, if they're counting playoff stats as well. And he didn't win 6 finals, but he won 4, right?
Yeah, 3, 4, whatever he's at right now.
He's been in 10, so
that's cool. I mean, look, again, all-time leading scorer, can't take nothing away from it.
But look, Wilt Chamberlain averaged like 50 and 40.
Wilt Chamberlain also scored 100 in a game, so it's
50 and we're talking about the averages that these guys had back in the day. And
the Lakers lost the game, by the way. When all else fails, that is the so that's the part of it that you said yesterday about the NBA. It's a star-driven league. The biggest story now is LeBron. The team lost the game. And I know that we're not in the playoff push right now because you have to wait till the summer for that to happen. I mean, but it's at the very end of the day. Does anybody give a rat's ass that the Lakers lost the game? No. Unless you're a Laker.
LeBron does.
If you're a Laker, come on.
Oh, you don't think he does?
No.
Why?
Because last night he just broke the record that he apparently didn't care about 2 days ago.
You answered your own question. Nobody else should care because I think there's certain things in sports, in certain moments in sports, i.e., the all-time scoring record in the sport being broken. I think it trumps an exhibition game, and it should in that regard.
An exhibition game.
What do you mean? Yes, it's a regular season game.
Well, exhibition would be preseason. Regular season is regular season.
All right. We're going semantics here.
I'm just saying that's what it's...
Regardless of how you want to put it, we all know what I was talking about. Last night's game, right? The one that he broke the record in February. Right? I think breaking the scoring record trumps that. And I do also think if there's one person on earth that gets to say, we didn't win the game, it's LeBron. And even if he does say it, guess what Dave would say? He'd be like, oh, give me a break.
I would roll my eyes.
Either way.
I would roll my eyes.
Can't win here, LeBron.
Yeah, but let's stop the game. Give him a mic. Talk to Kareem. Pass the ball up.
Yeah.
Right in the middle. What are we doing here?
Oh, yeah. Bro. If Micah Parsons broke the single season sack record,
they would stop the game.
They would stop the game.
For a half a second, not give him a mic. Like, I'd like to thank everybody out here, man. Oh, what a moment.
I don't think you're understanding the magnitude of what took place.
Look, the record lasted for 40
Cal
years.
Ripken took a lap, you probably shed a tear. Right?
That was emotional.
Right? So,
Good job, LeBron.
We're talking about all time.
I'm well aware of what it is, man.
A lot of buckets, Dave.
That is a lot of buckets. So congratulations.
Kareem was bitter.
Kareem has been bitter.
Bitter.
He's been bitter. He's not a big fan of LeBron.
Camper.
I don't think he's a big fan of LeBron.
I don't even think he likes himself at this point. He looked angry.
He did look angry, but that's Kareem for you. You know, his best work in the movie Basketball. Anybody remember
his
that
best
movie?
work was in the movie
Airplane.
Showtime.
Airplane
he wasn't
too.
even him. It was
Airplane. He was the pilot. Yeah. Great movie. Football news. How about that? Before we get into the pass catchers here. I know. You look at the time and I'm like, wow, 7 minutes on LeBron James. Well, that's what happens. That can go on for days, honestly. But, we got a show to do. There is a couple quarterback-driven news in the Mojo Market to concern yourself with. One is that the Las Vegas Raiders have approved Derek Carr to visit the New Orleans Saints. I have never seen this. My man is contracted with the Raiders. It has to be a trade. Like, you're telling him, I understand seek trade. So agents go out there and seek the trade. Have you ever seen somebody get on a plane and say, I'm going to go visit the team to see if it's a fit?
Jimmy G last year.
Yeah?
Yeah, they were trying to work out a trade.
But did he go somewhere to visit?
Yeah, he was like talking to other teams. They couldn't get anything sorted out. I mean, the 49ers.
I feel like that didn't happen.
I don't think it's maybe less precedented in NFL, but it's definitely a thing in NBA and MLB.
They jump on a plane, a team charter.
Yeah, as long as you like approve it, where you get no fake tampering charges get brought upon you, because we all know tampering is non-existent. It doesn't matter.
It's really not.
Yeah, I mean it makes sense. They're under the gun. They need to get this done. In other words, if they don't get it done, they have to spend a ton of money or get a massive cap
What do you
hit.
think the asking price is going to be, considering the fact that the Saints just got a 1 for Sean Payton, right? Do you think they have to flip that 1 for Derek Carr, or like Derek Carr is like a 2 or 3 kind of guy?
See, if I'm Derek Carr, I'm going to try and handpick the team that I want to go to, and I'm only visiting them. I think Derek Carr and the Saints work something out now, because if I'm smart and I'm Derek Carr, when I think he is a pretty smart guy, I'm not going to create a market for myself, right? Because your value speaks for itself. The Saints need a quarterback. I go to the Saints and I say, hey, look, we're going to talk about contract. I'm not going to sit here and nitpick about $1 million or $2 million at the end of it, right? Mm-hmm. But I don't want to drive up the price on myself. I want you guys to get me as cheap as possible. So I'm not going to visit anybody else, and I'm not going to create a market.
Yeah, because
and only let the Saints be the only team that you negotiate with. This way, the Raiders don't get anything back.
Well, not even that. Think about it like this. If for whatever, like the compensation that it takes for Derek Carr to get there, that's making the Saints worse. If you think about it.
Well, that's why I'm saying if Derek Carr's like,
hey,
all
of a sudden, they're down a pick.
I'm gonna go check out New Orleans. I'm gonna go check out the Jets. I'm gonna go to Washington. I'm gonna go to Indy. All of a sudden, now you have a bunch of suitors, and now you have people competing to get Derek Carr. Ultimately, that ruins Derek Carr's team future going forward. So I say, hey, I'm going to the Saints, Raiders. work this out.
Saints have a decent nucleus in the works right now. It looks like they're trying to move Michael Thomas. I don't know if that ever actually happens. Chris Olave's over there. You got Kamar's about to serve a suspension, you would think.
A second rounder, I don't think he gets a first.
I don't think so either.
Because of the situation they're in, they just have no leverage.
Yeah, I don't know.
And they announced already that they will cut him if they don't move him. So
speaking of leverage, your boy, everything all right?
Yes.
Listen, all right, and we had a. Now I don't want to say heated debate before the show because it's early here, so nobody has coffee until we get here, and well, this guy's sipping on it now. But what I'm saying is, I've always dug. Right? You want to talk about old school language. I've dug the vibes that Aaron Rodgers has put out there. I have. I was like, this guy's cool. He's laid back. He's passionate on the field. He's a laser quarterback. He's one of the best. And I think this is my personal opinion.
The best passer of the football.
Yeah, ever. I don't think anybody's done it better. Maybe him and Marino.
And that's all that matters to me.
Well, but now we got to the point now where people are thinking he's doing the golf thing the other day and he's, I'm not going to San Fran. Like, ha, he's not going to San Fran. And then the media runs with it. Great.
Who won that, by the way?
Rodgers.
Oh.
I think. I don't know.
Weirdo.
I'm just... See, but yesterday he's on Pat McAfee, and he goes out there, and McAfee's asking him about his future in the NFL, and all he had to say was, you know what? I'm going to think about it a couple more days. That's all he had to say. That's really all he had to say. But he went out there and he told the world that he was going to go on this 4-day darkness tour where he's going to talk to nobody, shut down the world. Like, you don't have to do this. You don't have to do this. All you have to say is what I just said. Look, I don't know yet. We're going to figure things out, but I'm going to take a couple days longer. Go on a vacation, figure things out.
Okay.
And the whole darkness and the only thing that I'm going to have is my food delivered. Outside of that, no communication with the world. Dude, just... stop. Like, this is so dumb. This is so dumb. If you're the next suitor with this dude on your team, like, do you want this guy around? Is it
anybody that
he's gonna walk in there like Pedro Serrano, bro?
I got fans of teams, Jets, Cowboys, saying that all of a sudden they wouldn't want Aaron Rodgers because of a comment. And I say, what about 3rd and 6 in the fourth quarter, right? When you need a first down and the defense has been bearing down on the quarterback all game long. And you're like, hey, I really wish that this quarterback didn't go on this darkness retreat, or didn't for that matter, because who actually knows? He could be trolling everybody at this point. And I would say there's a 50-50 chance at this point.
Yeah,
right now.
You think so? You think he's not even doing anything?
You think... Or he is going, and he's like, do you think I really care what Dave Sturchio, like the host of the Mojo Market Report, thinks about my darkness retreat? No, bro.
And that's fine. I'm
Be
cool
yourself.
with that. But if
Go
I'm
do your thing, A-Rod.
But if I'm the GM of a team right now, if I'm the Jets right now, a week ago, 2 weeks ago, I'm all in on Aaron Rodgers because I think the guy could still sling it, and I think the guy could bring us to the next level, to the playoffs, to the division title, all that garbage, right? Get all that stuff because Aaron Rodgers is your quarterback. Now, if you're the Jets, the guy is contemplating even playing. So what? Am I going to go into this thinking I'm going to give him 2 ones, a player, this, that, and then the guy's going to get there for a year and pull a Favre?
This was 2 off seasons ago, and Aaron Rodgers was contemplating even playing. He won an MVP. The season after that, he was contemplating even playing. He came back this year, right? Didn't win an MVP, but he was back, played. Going into this week, it was clear, abundant. Everybody knew it. Aaron Rodgers is going to take some time to make his decision. Him saying, I'm going to go sit in the dark for 4 days is only going to help, as far as I see it. If this is what the guy does to clear his mind, go ahead, do your thing, bro. He did mushrooms in ayahuasca last year or 2 years ago and won an MVP. I would say this is a step back from that, right? You're just going to hang out in the darkness? Are you gonna eat healthy?
He's gonna eat grass.
Right? He's gonna eat mud and bugs, whatever. But guess what? He's not. You know what he's not doing? He's not going and getting hammered in Vegas. He's not. Like, pick your poison here. My poison is ayahuasca.
My poison is
in darkness.
Sit back, relax, and debate within yourself at home in your mansion and figure out if you want to play football anymore. And you don't have to do all this extracurricular.
And then it's like, oh, you don't have to.
No, you don't.
But also you can. And you don't have to
You're
worry about
more
what
than
anybody
entitled
else says
to do
about it.
whatever you got to do, say whatever you want to say. And again, up until like 2 years ago, I
imagine-
thought everything that dude said was funny.
Could you imagine if everything that every athlete ever said was like player speak, coach speak, media speak, and just say, "Oh, I'm going to do this."
Dude, there's
I'm gonna
nobody.
do that."
Listen, there's nobody on the planet that wants guys to speak their mind more than I do. Trust me on that. Trust me.
Well,
but sometimes
I would
when you
say
do,
that- I would say
when you do speak your
I
mind,
would
it's
say
ridiculous.
based on this right here, there's at least one guy on the planet, and he's sitting to your right that would like people to speak out more than you, and that's me.
Fine. Case settled. Debate done. Over. Unbelievable. Aaron freaking
Somebody
Rodgers.
turn off the lights. Trying
So
to
we're getting
concentrate.
into Super Bowl wide
I got a
receivers and
season
tight
to play
ends
next year.
We got some pass catchers to talk about here today, and we got ourselves a nice little highlight reel for your enjoyment. But there is a lot of talent going on right now over there within Philadelphia and Kansas City. We talked about obviously Mahomes and Hurts on Monday. Yesterday we talked about the running game, and I'm all in on Pacheco. But man, if Hurts and Mahomes have the games that we expect them to have, it's going to be because of the following guys, right? Like A.J. Brown, and I saw this stat, and I was alarmed and I was jealous of what the Philadelphia Eagles have done.
Yeah, only one guy that's not through the
One
draft.
guy not through the draft, and it's A.J. Brown. But it's like that's the spending you have to have. Like you have to get that one piece somewhere along the line. It could be a left tackle, it could be your tight end, it could be whoever. But like that one extra piece that fits the mold. This dude fit the mold. I'm telling you right now, A.J. Brown, and I hoped, obviously, as a Cowboy guy, you would hope that it panned out, didn't pan out, blew up in their face, lost the first round pick. Ha ha, you should have had this guy, blah, blah, blah. But no, it's complete opposite. This guy, A.J. Brown, over the course of the season, 88 catches, almost 1,500 yards, 11 touchdowns. In the postseason alone, he's got 14 targets on 2 games. So he's, settled back a little bit. But again, you have to look at Hurts a little banged up, so I want to say that contributes to the passing game. A.J. Brown, Devonta Smith has been a lost name, I think. I don't think they've talked about him enough.
Well, yeah, he's been playing well, but they haven't been
but
talking about
he's
him enough.
overshadowed
Yes.
by the Hurtses of the world and the A.J. Browns and the acquisitions, and it's flashy. Devonta Smith, last year, was the number one, right? He was the number one guy. Could he have carried it by himself?
He was
I
like
don't
he
think
was
so.
not the number one by proxy, but he was never expected or shouldn't have been expected to be a number one. They needed what
I don't
they
think
got.
he's built to be a number
Yeah,
one,
he's-
and that's
he
not
is who he is.
skill wise.
He's a
I'm talking
slot
about
guy
just
that's gonna
literally
stretch
like a
the field.
tinier person. Yeah.
Slot guy stretch the field.
But again, Philadelphia, Dallas Goedert, who he was hurt for a little while. I thought for sure when Dallas Goedert went down, I said this Eagle team will not recover from losing this tight end. They were fine. They weathered the storm, and in come Dallas Goedert again to pretty much be the opposite to one of the greatest tight ends we've ever watched, and that's the guy dancing on your screen right now. Travis Kelce, on the other hand, do you think Travis Kelce, out of all of them right now, out of all the pass catchers in this game, he's obviously number one ranked?
Yeah, it's not even close either. A.J. Brown's a really good player, but Travis Kelce's make the case that he's the greatest tight end of all time. I know that the way the NFL is set up now, it's like everybody's going to have inflated numbers catching the ball. But,
Yeah.
I mean, you got to triple team Kelce. And even when you do that, it makes it a lot harder to deal with the McKinnons. And I know Hardman's out, but that's really what makes this entire offense tick is you could cross Travis Kelce across 3 zones. And you could run him up the seam. And there's at least two guys that are taking their eyes and putting them on Travis Kelce. It allows for these other guys to just really kind of have their way underneath. I think, in this game, I think the pass catchers are going to be more so McKinnon that you're going to have to worry about. That's who I think might actually have the best
underneath
game.
guys?
The underneath guys. Because
Little Blake Bell action here, backup tight end to Travis Kelce.
The Juju's a little bit banged up.
Kadarius Toney.
I think Juju's being that Juju is banged up, being the fact that the Eagles have like an insane pass rush, they're going to have to do things a little bit different. And I think Andy Reid is innovative enough to be able to do that. But I stand on this one that I think that the Eagles are going to put up points early, and then in the second half, the Chiefs are going to kind of keep themselves in the game, and we might get a close game at the end. But the Eagles are going to mainly control this game, and it's going to be done through the air, on the ground. Take your pick.
The crazy part is when you watch Philadelphia run their routes, and this is credit to their offensive coordinator as well for creating these schemes and the route tree alone. These guys are always wide open. there's a lot of grass in front of these guys when they get that ball. Devonta Smith yards after the catch were great. So was AJ Brown.
They got like a spread power offense. It's very unique what they're able to do because they have so many weapons.
And you got to respect Jalen Hurts for the run game.
You got to respect Jalen Hurts for the run. But then also, look, Gainwell's had back-to-back 100-yard games in the postseason. Miles Sanders, we've been talking about him all year long. Can't get any respect, can't get any credit. But look what he's done this year.
Yeah.
Right? So you have... Then you have Boston Scott, who seems to be a touchdown machine in big games. So they have three guys, a three-headed monster out of the backfield. Boston Scott being a veteran that's been with the team forever. So really plug and play any situation. You need a slot guy, you could probably use him. You need a RB1, you could use him. You need a spell third down blocker, you could use him. So they're just complete. Their offensive line is arguably the best in football. Potentially the only other team unit better is the Chiefs. So they're just a really good football team through and through, spread it out really well. Pick your poison. I said it. It's like I think they're going to spread it around. A few guys are going to be involved, and they're going to just run the football a lot in the second half.
Counterpoint to the Eagles being as dominant as they are, and they are. You can't take nothing away from them. A guy like Marquez Valdes-Scantling, right, throughout the course of the year, only has 42 catches and 2 touchdowns. In the postseason, he's got 7 receptions and 2 touchdowns. So all of a sudden, he's found himself another target, and now I'm talking about Patrick Mahomes. When I think this Chiefs team, and clearly, they kind of, you would think that they ran away with the division, right? There was no ever debate.
It was
before
over a long
week
time
8,
ago.
week 7. I was like, all right, this is, the Raiders aren't it, the Chargers, blah, and it's just like they'll get there maybe, and then obviously the Broncos were just an abomination. But when you look at this team, they're one star receiver away from just being unbeatable.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill.
Smooth move, Kansas City. But look, you couldn't afford it. But now you're trying to make a new Tyreek Hill and a guy that's tiptoeing the sidelines right there, and that's Kadarius Toney. Is he Tyreek Hill? No, he's not Tyreek Hill.
He could be.
We don't know.
I don't know if he's going to be an all-time great. Tyreek Hill's on his way to being one of the best ever, because at least at what he does. But Kadarius Toney, they're losing Juju. But, yeah, I think that they have weapons through and through.
Well, maybe they bring him back.
Their offensive line's good, and they have Pat Mahomes, Andy Reid, and Kelce. As long as they have those 3 guys, everything else is going to be interchangeable. The offensive line's good. You're all set. The defense has been playing better this year down the stretch, but realistically, it's been that offense for the last 5 years, right? We can start talking about Mahomes' legacy, too. If Mahomes loses this game, if he loses the Super Bowl, everybody gives it, the crowns Mahomes as the guy, and rightfully so. I think he is probably the best quarterback in football. But we start talking about legacy games, and it's now you dropped a couple Super Bowls. You only got one. Mm-hmm. You're on your second contract. You're deep into your second contract at this point. When are you gonna win your other one, buddy?
Yeah, I don't know.
Maybe never.
I'm also thinking about this, just long-term thinking, because I think about this with the Mojo Market, and I think any receiver that Patrick Mahomes obtains and grabs in the offseason is going to be, valuable. Check out pick number 31 or 32, win or lose this game. You might wind up with a really good receiver to fall into your lap from college, and that might be the play for the Chiefs. I know there's holes outside of the wide receiver
room.
room.
Moore that they drafted last year, so
I don't know if he's the guy. I mean, it's too early to tell,
it's way too early, and they have a ton of other weapons as to where they didn't even have to push him a little bit this year. So if he was to force into some playing time more, he may have been better. But you saw what happened with Watson. Early in the year, he wasn't really playing well and then came on late. But look, Sky Moore put him in a spot with that punt return last week. Stepped up. So
that's true.
He is making plays, and look, he's 22, 21.
Yeah, I mean, he's young. It's going to be interesting to see what kind of pass catchers are used more frequently on Sunday. Tomorrow, we're going to dive deep into all of the prop bets. I'm telling you, man, there is a lot of money to be made on the Mojo Market this weekend, specifically Sunday. But what I'm saying is the list. We'll basically go through the list. We'll pick our favorite ones, the overs, the unders, the parlays that we might want to do, the defensive props that they're offering. I believe they're even doing some kicking and special teams, so you might want to look into that as well. I have to look deeper. I might be dreaming that. No?
I'm going to stay away from those.
Oh, well, not everybody's Brett Maher, okay?
Yeah, I'm just not, I don't like special teams issues, and no.
That's not very nice. You can follow Mojo right now on social media, TikTok, Instagram, Twitter. Those are the ways to follow us at Mojo. All of our reels are up there. All of the partnerships that Mojo has linked up with are on there. You find out all this information from either, the Fantasy Doctor, Sporty Jordy, you got the BDGE guys over there. There's a lot of cool guys that are guys and gals that are making some, I did say guys and gals just in case you're wondering. There is a lot of great content creators that Mojo works with that are providing you with more information on which guys to invest in, which guys to fade, which guys to go long on. You can find all that out also on the Discord. So go join the Discord as well. And obviously, if you have a problem or you know somebody with a problem, there is a number to call. It's right there in front of your face to make sure that you don't put yourself in any kind of crazy debt. But there is going to be some big bets. I already saw some regarding the draft. There was a massive bet put on Anthony Richardson that his stock was going to rise. That's already starting to trend in that direction. So potentially that could be a winner right there. So again, a lot to get into. The NFL offseason is going to start literally less than 7 days from now. So that's kind of depressing. It's going to start in 5, actually, if you want to get technical. The NFL offseason will begin. The draft prep starts. The free agency stuff starts. The franchise tag starts, which, by the way, the Cowboys have gone on record to say, hey, we're going to franchise Tony Pollard. Breaking news, yeah. we all knew this. But then what are we going to do with Zeke? We'll figure it out. But that'll do it for today. So for Dave Sturchio and Chris Gueci, right here at Chop Studios, from our old sports desk here. It has been another episode of the Mojo Market Report. Back here tomorrow with some liquid props. Get ready, buckle up. It's going to be a great show. We'll see you guys tomorrow.